of your business, if you're kind of feeling demotivated and just really finding it difficult to focus, the first thing that you need to remember to focus on is you. And yeah, I'm going to say that again. The first thing that you need to remember to focus on is you. You know, especially if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner or a coach or a consultant or anything like that. If you're not at your best, your business is probably not going to be at its best, right? I know sometimes when I have down days where I'm just kind of feeling discouraged or demotivated for one reason or another, that really affects my productivity and how much I'm able to get done. So the whole idea here is, get you in tip-top shape. So at the end of this video, I'm going to be also sharing how to get a copy of the free Motivation Marathon blueprint that I'm making. So it's basically going to be a list of all these questions and then sort of a little bit more information on why each of them is important. So I'm going to go into it here in just a second. And it brings me back to you. It's why we need to focus on you. Focus on you. So if we make sure that you are at your tip-top shape, mentally, physically, emotionally, you're going to start to see results in your bottom line, like I was saying earlier. Pretty much guaranteed, because when you're at your best, you're going to be performing better, your productivity is going to be higher, you're going to be happier, you're going to be making better connections because like you're in a good mood, you're going to be attracting more things because, you're feeling good about everything. So it's really important that you're sort of paying attention to what's going on, like inside of yourself and checking in with yourself every so often. And I made a post the other day, asking people how often do you check in with yourself? And, a lot of people said constantly, which is really good. And there was, some other friends that are like, not enough, and it's really important to start to be able to tell really kind of what's going on in here and where to find some type of imbalance that's going on, because that's sort of why you're kind of a little bit more affected by it. So the whole reason that I started this, I'm actually inviting you guys to take this challenge with me, because I just created this honestly because I'm like, all right, like I got to do something. Like I'm just like really getting affected by some like personal things that's going on, mainly with like my family and some health issues and stuff. And I'm really getting affected by some of that stuff. And my phone is actually about to overheat here, so I'm going to turn the brightness down there. But yeah, so I've been really affected by this stuff. And I'm sure some of you can resonate with me where, you're having something challenging going on in your life and you're worried about it, you're concerned, especially if it involves a family member or a loved one. And it just kind of like burns you out way faster. You're worn out way faster. And it's a lot to deal with. So it's really challenging when you're under this type of stress. But what's really actually more challenging? It's more challenging when you're not paying attention to like yourself and checking in on yourself and making sure that, you're sort of leading like a balanced life, because dealing with all of that stress when you're already sort of depleted in some way, it's just definitely going to make things way harder. And I'm speaking from experience for sure. And it's also hard to trust your inner emotions when you're depleted in some way. So maybe you're, really going through some stuff with something that's going on with your family. And, because you're not properly, keeping balanced or, just even basically like really taking care of yourself all the time. It's going to start to affect like how you feel on the inside too, because I won't go into too many specifics here. I can maybe talk about it a little bit more in the blueprint. But when you aren't sleeping properly, or, you're just not really getting adequate sleep or like enough sleep, or if you're not eating at like regular intervals, and a lot of times stress can like do that to us. It can make us not want to sleep, or not be able to fall asleep. It can make us, not really be hungry or have an appetite because we're just concerned about, what's going on with, our loved one, if that's the case, or, maybe it's like finances or a job or whatever the case is. And like not doing that is, throws off, all of the chemicals internally, like in your brain, because, both eating and sleeping are both regulating your hormone production in your brain. Things like, serotonin, or neurotransmitters rather, serotonin, dopamine, all of those things. So I'm not going to go into too much techno babble here, because the point is, I just promise you that if you ask yourself these questions, if you check in with yourself daily, things are going to start to change, especially if you're actually taking action on it. And especially if you're taking action on that and kind of adjusting something in your life. So I really hope that this motivation marathon challenge helps you too, because I'm going to be launching this in a little bit more like official of a capacity. So this is really just a test run, guys. I'm doing this too. I've been doing it for a couple of days. It's definitely made a difference for me personally. And I really would love for you to join me, and I would love for your feedback on it. So the whole goal, here's how it works basically. And by the way, if you haven't already gathered, the whole motivation marathon challenge is designed to, address where there's unmanaged stress or where you're depleted in some area of your life. And then, it's going to kind of teach you, okay, here's what you can sort of do about that. But yeah, so the goal is to figure out by asking yourself these questions and address that, stress area. So you can basically reclaim. Oh, wow, my light is doing some crazy stuff. All right, maybe that's a little bit better. The motivation challenge, sorry guys. Okay. So the goal is to figure out by asking yourself those questions and address that area, like I said, so you can reclaim that mental space in your mind. And you can use that to be more productive. You can use that mental capacity, that like brain power that you have from not being so stressed out about this on something that's actually productive, for your business. So how to participate in the motivation marathon challenge is simple. And yeah, excuse the crazy light scenario that is happening right now on my phone. Let's see if that'll stop it. Yeah, great video, guys, right? This is just part of it. This is part of live streaming on your phone. By the way, if anybody knows a good live stream app that you can use from your mobile device that doesn't have so many crazy issues, please let me know. Okay, so anyway, how to participate in the motivation marathon challenge. So it's pretty simple. Each day, I recommend setting a reminder on your phone and stuff for this as well. Ask yourself the following questions about the last 3 days. Because 3 days, I just picked that. It's like the past couple days, whatever. Just ask yourself these questions each day about the previous couple days to kind of address some of this stuff. I really recommend that you do this in the morning, maybe after, you've done, whatever your morning routine is, or, in the middle of the day, or really kind of whenever you're feeling sort of out of whack or out of balance. Probably a good idea to go through this list of questions and just kind of check in. So it's easy to feel down when you're not really realizing that your physiology, that different components of your body or just, basic things are sort of actually making things a bit worse and stressing you out even more. So it's really easy to kind of get into negative thought, or it's easier rather to get into negative thought patterns if you're just really not taking care of yourself. And you'd be surprised because I see it all the time. I've done it myself too. A lot of us get in the habit where we just kind of put way more attention into other people, or and we don't really focus on what's actually best for us, and that could be for a lot of different reasons. So I do it all the time with my family, mainly with my mom, because I really want to be there for her. And I just have to remember hey, I have to check with you too. So I digress. Here we go, guys. The moment you've all been waiting for, the actual questions. By the way, if you have any questions that you think would be good in addition to what I'm about to go over with right now, it is a rave up in my room right now. I don't know if this is showing up on your guys' screen, but it is very strobe-like on mine. Okay, so I really, really would love for your feedback on these questions. And if you have any additional questions that you think should be added to this list, please comment them or PM me or something of that nature. So in the last 3 days, how much and to what consistency have you been sleeping? So in the past 3 days, how much and to what consistency have you been sleeping? Okay, number 2, have you drank at least 64 ounces, that's about half a gallon, or the standard 8-ounce glasses of water each day? That's super important. It's you really lose a lot of brain power when you're dehydrated, speaking of which. Okay, what has your food intake nutrition level been like? And has that actually really been an optimum way to nourish your body? I know I've definitely had those days where I'm just kind of on the go a lot, not really eating as well as I should. And, I actually feel that later, but I didn't used to actually know that I really felt it. I kind of felt okay physically, but I would notice it in my mind, I was just not as sharp because I just hadn't been eating it as well. Just eating fast food or whatever. I try to avoid that really, but In-N-Out is a thing here in Southern California, and that's about as fast as I get. But anyway, and I added this next question in because it does not actually apply to me at the moment anyway, crossing my fingers. But, if you have to take any type of medication for any physical ailment or mental health issue, also, think about that. Have you been taking everything as prescribed or as you're supposed to? Are you setting reminders on your phone to remind you okay, I need to take this every 6 hours, every 8 hours, every 24 hours, whatever. Um, that also is going to be able to obviously affect like your physical and mental well-being too. So that's really important to think about. Have you exercised, done yoga, or at the very least stretch? So this is a big one because like I'm not really in good shape, and it looks like I am. So a lot of people just assume that I'm like in like great shape, but I'm like, no, like if the zombie apocalypse were to happen tomorrow, I would be going down. I really need to get into some cardio personally. But I do at least try to stretch every day or do some yoga poses. And physical movement, physical exercise is definitely going to help you feel better physically. And taking that time to yourself to kind of, silently meditate or just, think about, you know, I guess some like things that you're excited about, or taking that time to just sort of like have a moment to yourself where you're just stretching or doing a few yoga poses or taking a run or anything. That's also really healthy to be able to have that time. Yeah, trust me on that one. Have you journaled or expressed your feelings in some other way? So this is like totally a big one. A lot of times, there might be something that you are uncomfortable to talk about, with people for one reason or another. So, while I definitely recommend that everybody, like they see, a general practitioner or doctor, yeah, it's important to at least express your feelings in some way, I hopefully constructively, but writing is a really good way to kind of get it out there. If you're journaling, you can also look back on that. You can see how far you've grown, how far you've come. And yeah, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I've been writing more in my business journal lately than anything else personally. And if you don't have a business journal, I actually made another video and also posted it in my Facebook group. So I'll tell you how to get that too at the end. Really good way to keep on track with what's going on in your business. Having a business journal, very important. So have you written down your major goals each morning? And I'm actually guilty of this one. I did not start doing that yet. So that is one thing I got from Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone's like a master, just sort of master marketer, master salesman. He's like very, very well known, in the real estate world and stuff too. And yeah, he recommends like writing your goals down every single day. So like even if it's like your biggest goal, I actually recommend writing your biggest goal down, and then maybe you have like a few sub goals and writing them down every morning. If you're waking up, you're feeling a little, but you're rewriting like your goals. Maybe they've changed a little bit, but you're just kind of sticking to that and writing your goals down. Seeing that on paper every morning is definitely going to help you stay motivated and sort of stay on track to actually be focusing on like, hey, is everything that I'm doing right now actually in the direction of like the goals that I have written on that piece of paper. So he just keeps a ton of legal pads around. I started doing this kind of like about a month or two ago. And yeah, I need to stay on top of it because yeah, I do notice a difference when I do that. So that's one thing that I'm implementing now in this challenge as well for myself. And let's see. Okay. Have you interacted with your social circle or connected with a trusted friend? So this is one, guys, that really hits home for me. Because yeah, I honestly like I used to go out in LA like all the time. I would go out like literally almost every single night. I'm also like a DJ and I do like event production stuff in like the underground music scene and like the electronic music scene, house music scene and stuff in LA. So I used to like go out all the time. I was very social. I was always out somewhere. It was rare if I wasn't. And, then after a while, when I started to kind of realize, all right, I really want to focus on starting a business that can kind of like leave a legacy for like my future family and the family that I have now, I kind of started to go in like a slightly different direction. So, while I'm still doing all of that and I still go out and everything, I definitely, and I think this is very common among entrepreneurs, if you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, or if you're a freelancer, you're working at your computer all the time, definitely let me know if you can resonate with me on this one. But I just get into, or like music producer friends, I definitely know you can resonate with me on this one. But I get into kind of like hermit mode and I just won't actually want to go anywhere. Like if somebody even invites me, I'll be like, and it's really, really hard to kind of like get me out of the house these days, usually because I'm on my laptop, like focusing on like, building this whole thing. And yeah, like I'll hang out with my partner, obviously, and like our DJ crew, which is like a lot of his friends, like we'll all hang out together. And I'm just like, I need to like really get out. Like the other day I hung out with a few friends, a friend of mine from high school that I hadn't seen in like 13 years came by, and yeah, it was really awesome. So definitely if you haven't interacted with your social circle or a trusted friend within the past few days, even if it's something that you're uncomfortable, or maybe it's somebody that you're supposed to call back but you didn't, like just screw all of that and just like hit them up. Because having like an actual trusted friend, somebody that's just like very close to you, somebody that you trust, that you can maybe even like confide in, that's like super, super important. And that's definitely something where I have like completely, isolated myself, like not from all social stuff because I would still go out, but I wouldn't really have that many one-on-one connections with people. And mainly just because I was sort of like, all right, like if I'm not hanging out, like, with my boyfriend and my dog, then I kind of just want to be, and I'm not like working other side jobs to kind of like keep the finances flowing and stuff, then I just want to be really working on my business. And that's awesome. And I definitely recommend keep doing that. But like also just like get out of the house sometimes. Seriously. It's good for you. Have you spent time in nature? This is a big one for me too, or at least got some sunshine and literal fresh air. So, part of this goes into even like scientifically speaking, sun helps your body produce vitamin D. Vitamin D is also linked, increased vitamin D is also linked with, reducing symptoms of depression. So I just read that in an article and I was like, wow, this is crazy. It was like a scientific journal too. So I was like, all right, this is legit. Like, this is amazing that, that type of thing can affect it. So getting fresh air, just getting outside and just taking a walk, it just, even if you don't really feel like it, just like go. It helps if you have a dog and you have to like walk the dog, obviously. But just get out of the house. Yeah. If you've been just in the house for too long, just get out of the house. Have you laughed, like really laughed, like had a deep belly laugh, like, laughed your ass off, as they would say? There's definitely been days that have gone by like that I haven't like done this because I just kind of get into like serious like work mode and yeah, and I've noticed the more that I follow kind of like my passion of doing videos like this and helping other people, the more that I sort of follow that curve and that direction, I really feel a bit more, I don't know, I feel like it's just easier to like be happy and like have a really good time and like laugh because I'm just like walking my true purpose, if you will. So whatever that is for you. I totally understand too, by the way, just like quick disclaimer before I finish the last few questions, that I know that due to some conditions, it's impossible to kind of do every single one of these every day, to stay on top of everything, all the time with this, because mental health has been a topic that's like been very close, to home for my family, due to other family members and stuff. And it's definitely been a really big journey. And it's like I said the other day, it's important to take any types of struggles that you go through and turn them into strengths. And, going through a lot of that and doing a lot of the work that was required for me to just kind of like maintain like my own like wellness and stuff. Yeah, that kind of really led me on this amazing journey. And it led me to being here with you to share things like this and hopefully like a lot more, because really my goal of doing this is this, like, I know what it feels like to just feel like, hey, like I know I can be successful. I know I have all the skills. Like I've seen other people that like have like less tech skills or, less skills in other areas become successful. I'm very active in this like online digital marketing community, like online courses and everything like that. And there's a lot of people doing very, very well. And, you see all of that, but then for some reason, there's just this thing inside that's sort of like self-doubt or imposter syndrome or whatever it is. And a lot of those feelings are amplified by keeping one of these questions that I've asked you, having one of these questions that I've asked you sort of unbalanced. Like the effects that you feel are going to be amplified. So, another one too that I think I actually missed, just to kind of get back to it. Have you meditated recently? And I know for some of you that's going to be like, oh, this is like some hippie bullshit. I promise you it's not. It is really actually effective. And if you're not sure where to start, there's things where you can just look up guided meditation. I have been doing the guided meditation. It's called Active on Audible. And they have like a free 21-day guided meditation there. And you can just Google it too. And it really, really helps, like having, some type of guided meditation where it's actually sort of telling you what to do and keeping you sort of focused on that. So you don't get too lost in your own thoughts. It's important to find something like that when you're starting out. And that's really helped me too, to be honest with you. I definitely would say that I have, my share of like anxiety or stress just due to other circumstances in my life. But doing this meditation, I would do it like in the mornings. Honestly, I would do it in my car in the mornings before I would go into my old job too. And it just really, really, especially in the mornings, it puts you like in a really good space for the rest of the day. If you have a personal affirmation too, that's like super helpful. Have you said that to yourself? In the past few days, I actually went through a self-development class where we crafted our own personal affirmation and we agreed to say them 100 times a day for 33 days. I definitely didn't get the all 33 days straight, but I do say it like pretty much, I don't know, at least 100 times a day, if not more on some days. And it's super, super helpful to kind of keep your mind sort of in like a positive direction. Because the whole thing is, you're going to have thoughts no matter what. But, the choice is like, what type of thoughts do you want to have? And like, the more you let your thoughts kind of like go in the direction of like fear, negativity, worry, all that stuff, it's just going to be harder to sort of like get out of that, from my experience anyway. So then the last two questions are also important. Have you helped someone? Even if it's something simple like helping a business friend out, one thing that I really love to do that gives me a lot of actually joy is to go on to forums on Facebook or, LinkedIn or whatever and read through some of the stuff. If somebody has a question and I can answer it, like I'll take here we go again. I'll take a video comment or, I'll take the time to write them a comment because helping somebody just really feels good, especially when they do something with that, that feedback and, have some type of success in that way. So, and then the last question is, have you drank alcohol or indulged in any substances? And, obviously, in some states, cannabis is legal. That doesn't always affect everybody in the same way. And it like never does, actually. Everybody is different with their effects. And, it's just like good to kind of look at like, okay, is this something that is helping me? Is this something that's hindering me? Same thing with alcohol, it's a depressant. So that definitely affects your kind of like brain chemistry as well if you've had like a night of drinking. I actually really, for the most part, stopped drinking alcohol because I just like hated how I felt the next day. If I wasn't wiped out physically, I just like felt like it's not like very foggy. And I just always like, this is not worth losing a day of productivity for me anyway. So yeah, do what's good, just what's best for you. I'm going to go through these questions one more time with no explanation. So if you want to hear any of them again, and then also keep in mind, I am going to be posting the 30-day motivation marathon blueprint in my Facebook group, Fueled by Funnels. And you can find that. I'm going to put the link in the comments, but you can find that by going to bit.ly/Fueled by Funnels group. Fueled by Funnels. Funnels is just spelled regular funnels. I know if you don't know what this is about, like you're probably like, what the hell does this mean? Just go there, just join the group, and I will have that blueprint ready for you in the next few days. So here's the questions one more time. How much and to what consistency have you been sleeping? Have you drank at least 64 ounces of water or eight ounce glasses of water each day? More is even recommended, honestly. What has your food intake nutrition level been like? And is it an optimal way to be nourishing your body? Have you been appropriately taking any medications for your personal, medical, or mental wellness? And if not, when was the last time? Have you meditated on the sound of your own deep breathing or a guided meditation recording in the past 3 days? And ideally every day. I promise you, just try it. Have you exercised, done yoga, or at the very least stretched recently? Have you journaled, expressed your feelings, or expressed your feelings in another way? Have you written down your major goals each morning? Have you interacted with your social circle or connected with a trusted friend? Have you spent time in nature or at the least got some sunshine and literal fresh air? I think someone is at my door. All right, guys. Hope you got a good peek of my non-decorated room. All right, so have you journaled or expressed your feelings in another healthy way? Have you written your goals down each morning? Have you interacted with your social circle or a trusted friend? Have you spent time in nature or at the least gotten some literal sunshine and fresh air? Have you laughed or had a really deep belly laugh? Have you helped someone, even if it's just something like commenting to somebody on Facebook and giving them advice or donating to a nonprofit or whatever it may be? And have you drank alcohol or indulged in any other substances? So those are the questions. I'm going to be posting them in the Motivation Marathon Blueprint along with just some other like helpful tips in there for this 30-day challenge. And I'm going to be posting that again in my Facebook group, as I mentioned. So I'm going to be linking that in the comments. And also, guys, if you are resonating with this video, I actually can't see all of your comments right now because I'm on my live stream software. But if you are resonating with this video, please take a moment to comment if you think that this would be helpful for a friend. If you have any other friends that are entrepreneurs or business owners or coaches or consultants, or you think that they might find some value in hearing some of these questions of addressing some of that stuff in their lives as well, please just take a moment to share this with them. My goal with doing this, I honestly, like I said, I wrote all of these things down for myself because I was like, I need to do something. I need to check in with myself. I need to find every area that I might be off balance and figure out exactly, how I can address that stuff, because I want to be in tip top shape where I can just focus on my business. Because if I'm having, too much, stress or anxiety due to something else going on in my life, it really, really affects my ability to focus on being successful and productive. So if you have somebody in your life that would help, please take a moment to share that with them, because I really want to help as many people as possible with this whole thing. So by the way, also, if for some reason you're just not really a Facebook user and you want me to email them to you, I can also email you the 30-day motivation marathon blueprint. And just send me your email address and I'll send it over to you directly. So you can just PM that to me if you'd like. If you'd like to send me an email for it, you could email me as well. My email address is ChristinaRoseCoaches@gmail.com. That's ChristinaRoseCoaches@gmail.com. Either way, guys, I'm really doing these videos not only kind of to record my journey on, going into this whole space of officially, because I've done it unofficially for so long, but officially going into this whole coaching and digital marketing space for other businesses and entrepreneurs. So, this is all part of it. I really want to record the journey from day one. So I kind of started last week. I've been doing Facebook Lives for a while. So I really recommend, if you're, interested in marketing tips, if you're interested in things to help you stay motivated and kind of keep you in a good mindset and a productive mindset and an effective mindset to kind of reach all of your goals and have that success that you're just literally yearning for, that you can see as clearly as day, that you're I can see this, I can see this being my life. So what's holding me back? The question is, guys, what is holding you back? And I know for me, what's holding me back is me. So take a hard look at, yourself at the mirror, as the cliche term goes. But yeah, really kind of address that with yourself. What is really holding you back? And people make up excuses for this all the time. People say, oh, I don't have time, or I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I need to be in this space or that space, or I can't do it because of this. Well, instead of telling yourself all the reasons that you can't do it, why don't you start looking at all the reasons that you can, or all the ways that you can? And part of that, part of having that solutions-based mindset, part of having that optimism and that drive to really stay motivated on the pathway to your goals, part of that is maintaining, really wellness all around. That's really, really important, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if that's a thing for you. I believe there's something out there. There's energy. There's definitely energy out there. I just think everybody worships the same thing in different ways. I think that's my whole take. So before we go into religion or politics, no go. But yeah, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It's really my goal to do more videos like this more often. I am going to be attempting to go back onto my daily Facebook Live challenge. That's another thing I'll mention real quick before I go. I used to get very discouraged if I started a challenge or, start a project, and for one reason or another, I deviated from the timeline or, whatever. It's for example, with a challenge, I was trying to do this 365 day, every day Facebook Live challenge. And due to some of the issues that this whole motivation marathon blueprint has been actually helping me kind of get through, part of the reason that I didn't maintain that challenge, that consistency needed to maintain the goals of that challenge, was because of stuff that was going on in here and in here, So that's why I kind of even crafted this whole motivation marathon blueprint, because I really wanted to find a way, okay, if I have these goals of doing Facebook Lives every day to help other people, I'm doing them a disservice by not sharing what I know, what's worked for me. I'm doing myself a disservice because I'm just not getting out there and following my true purpose. So I really hope that kind of helps you, because when I did get off of like that stuff like that before. I used to just sort of be like, oh, whatever, screw it. And then I just like wouldn't keep it going, you know? So if you fall off the horse, just get back on. It's no big deal. If you're on some type of challenge right now, even if you want to be on the 30-day motivation marathon challenge, whatever your case is, if you're like on that pathway and you just like get sidetracked for a couple days, something happens, don't get discouraged, because it's not about how many times you quote unquote fail. It's how many times you get back up and you keep going. Because the thing to remember is the only reason that super successful people are as successful as they are is because they failed a bajillion times along the way, but they just kept going. So I'll leave you with that. I'm Christina Rose signing off, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. By the way, if you're a YouTube subscriber or if you're a YouTube user, please go to my YouTube as well and subscribe. I actually need to get 100 subscribers before I can even have a regular youtube.com/ whatever link. I know. So if you could do that for me, that would be super, super awesome. If you are affected by this video anyway, please comment, let me know. Please go to the YouTube. It's bit.ly, so that's bit.ly/Christina Rose Coaches YouTube. Christina Rose Coaches YouTube. So just go there. And yeah, thank you guys so much. And I'm excited to come back with some more awesome content like this. I'll see you later.